I actually was instructed to say sector more in the Netherlands in 2020, so I was trying to not to speak too long at length about the commercial side. I'm Al Khafaji. I'm the founder of Silk.com. If somebody would like to look at it, we are a startup that facilitates for sorted content and data to make it accessible at the internet so that other people can browse through it, visualize it, or it's something like Google, perhaps a little bit better. We are here. We are based here in Amsterdam, and of course we have also been financed and funded by the Dutch investment company for Silicon Valley. And one of the questions I heard many times: how is it that there are not that many billion-dollar companies in the Netherlands? How is it that they cannot be founded here? So this is a very important question, I think, in order to answer if we think about the future of the Netherlands and more specifically with respect to the internet companies. I don't know the answer to this question, so don't hope for me giving you the answer. So one of the remarkable questions is if you really think about that question, there is not a real good reason why there shouldn't be those million-dollar companies in the Netherlands. Not because they are less competent. It's not a market. The market is just as big for the internet as anywhere else. If Google has started here, they could have reached those people also. So this could not be a reason. The Netherlands does have a couple of very multinational companies. So this is, if we think about it, so what they say about started, you have to have more brave capital, so investment capital. Well, if we're going to say this, with respect to that if they set up a company, that they can sell the company later on for billions of. So it's important to have this. So I have two observations, what I can say. While I was doing Silk, what we said, one is about the rules and regulation. It has been said many, many times. But what you realize directly, if I look at the startups in Silicon, so there you get it. They manage, they can do a startup lawyer, they get a bunch of papers, standard papers, they sign it, and then they have a company. So they have all the things they need for personal, and they have arranged it within a couple of days. So it took us months to have an option plan so that we could reward our employees. It took us months to find out how the tax authorities would look upon monies that would be arriving from abroad. So these are very big problems. The good news is that there are some problems, but the good news is that they were easy to solve if politics is willing to do so. One of the things that's maybe a little bit more difficult is with respect to the mindset and the ambition here, because the Netherlands are a very entrepreneurial country if I compare it to other countries that we visit. If we do notice, if we're talking about companies, it might be worth €1 billion. So maybe if it's unrealistic, it's like a too wide. One of the things that you say, one of the big quotes is that is true. 90% of the startups fails. But in the United States, in Silicon Valley, okay, that's a challenge that I shall take on. And here it's more realistic that they look upon it and they say, if the conclusion is don't start a startup because 90% fails, because then you never will reach the 10%. That will become the next Google or the next Amazon. So maybe people, or maybe they avoid the risks, or they are too calculative, or of course that is very good, but it could pose a problem with respect to setting up new companies. I don't know the solution, so maybe you could say to the university and have them more look like Stanford University, so try to motivate the students to set up a company. This is not just done overnight. What I do know and what I do think is that the Netherlands does have all the fundamental things to become a very a knowledge economy in all tiers and levels of the society, the level of education, the level of people, the level of economy. All these basics are here. So with respect to the next decades, how can we manage and realize this ability to have this American mentality in all those different levels, from the companies and the politicians and also the students, in order to establish those $1 million companies. Thank you.